are the riders that are going to emerge in the medal positions. There are confirmation of the rest of the positions behind. De Knecht, he's a useful rider, and Van den Berg, useful duo there from the Netherlands coming through. Simonek, oldest man in the race, 16th at this stage. Continued frustration of having to get on and off the bike, total concentration, all riders focused here. Nace at the front. There's Groenendaal. I'm just wondering, is he beginning to feel the strain of the presence of all these Belgians around him? It's a three-nation race, isn't it? With all the odds stacked firmly in favour of Belgium. There's Denise coming through, so he's doing a good ride behind, isn't he? And there are the two Belgians. That's Gerben de Knecht, number 3, and just behind him, Wim de Vos. Is that a gap beginning to break up here? Verweken is the man bringing the second 3 through of the leaders. No, nothing to choose between them, so still all together. Groenendaal now is 5th out of these 6. Is he beginning to pay the price a little bit? 5 seconds back to the nearest chaser, 21 seconds back to the rest. Nace at the front. Then Dlask. That looked like Tom van Open right at the back. Yes, Tom van Open just keeping the back of this group warm. If you can stay warm in these kind of conditions, although it's warmer than it has been during the earlier championships. So I understand that Roger Hammond, who's had several crashes, I've learnt that Roger Hammond has actually retired round about the midway point. He landed on his wrist again, that wrist that sidelined him from the Olympic Games last year. So Hammond has decided to call it a day, so he's dropped out of the race. Love their racing, don't they? Particularly this cyclo-cross. Quite a few of these riders, of course, will go immediately from here to the south of France to start their road seasons, and then they'll be building up for the classics, the first one coming in the end of March, the traditional Milan-San Remo. Now these are the chasers just behind the leading group, and the first man that they will see, if they get them in their sights, will be Groenendaal, the world champion, because he was at the back of that leading group of 5. This is Henrik Jernies. So Jernies is doing a stormer of a ride now. Oh, and there's another faller there at the back of the group. A faller, that looked like Groenendaal to me, the world champion. He was at the back of the group. That looked like Groenendaal that has gone down as riders decide to take fresh bikes here in the pit area. Groenendaal is not there, so Groenendaal has hit the deck and hit it heavily. Now, how much is that going to cost him? Remember, Verweken had a crash. His wasn't, or it didn't look as bad as that, and he quickly recovered. Now that's thinned the leading group down. That has thinned it down. So, the world champion has hit the deck and hit it heavily. The Belgians will profit from this. That's Nace at the back, but at the front, inevitably, it's Dlask of the Czech Republic. Dlask is looking back to see where the other 2 are. We've lost another one as well, and I've got a feeling that that might be Van Open. These are the 4. They're not waiting around to see. There's 3 more laps to go, only to decide this World Elite Cyclo-cross Championship. Back onto the Tar-Macadam Road. It's about 100 metres from the elbow of the bend to the finishing line. Not very long if you were together to sprint it out. And my earlier comment, I will underline it again, whoever is first to the top of those stairs with about 500 metres to go is surely going to win the gold medal. So, Dlask at the front. He rides the cyclo-cross courses so well, despite being very, very tall. Just watch his technique here. No problem for those steps at all, is it? 2 at a time, maybe even 3 with those big long legs. De Lask at the front. He's got for company Nace, Van Open. This is the chasing group. De Vos is there. And that, in fact, I think that was Gronendal. Now, here's a chance, I think, to see that crash again. And in fact, to me, that looked like a replay of the shot when Vervaeken went down there. That was not a replay of the shot when Gronendal went down. But the front group is now light, and it's light from Gronendal. Just over 2.5 laps to go. The race now between these 4. De Lask carrying the hopes of the Czech Republic. The Belgians inevitably there. Vervaeken and also de Klerk, 2 that have seen it all before, and Van Open is amongst these leaders as well. It's beginning to hurt. Now the strong men will certainly come through. Look, Wellens is there, former world champion at 13 seconds. Well, Van Open is off that group. Leading group, De Lask, de Klerk is up there as well. All to play for. We'll take a break. Back with the leaders here, and the 4 leaders, Vervaeken, Nace, Van Open. Looking strong, the world champion, Gronendal, has gone. No sign of him at all. Still 27 kilometres an hour, so the tempo is still very, very high. Now then, who is going to medal out of these, and who is going to miss out in the medals? That's the question. Are we going to get Belgians first, second and third? That would be a story, wouldn't it? In that chasing group behind as well, I caught a glimpse of another strong rider from the Czech Republic. That was Jiří Pospisil. So Pospisil is riding well. There's one of the lap riders. You can see that he's forced to walk, where the rest of the stars, they just absolutely fly by him. These are cyclo-cross conditions at their absolute worst. It's amazing, isn't it? You can get a hard, crisp top surface where it's a little bit like a road race, and the riders can finish without even a speck of dirt on them. But here, in these conditions, you really have got to concentrate, not only from the damp that gets into you, the cold, because it gets into your fingers, and there for pulling the brakes on and changing gear and steering, that is critical. Some of the fans here, I think, have certainly had their money's worth. They love it. And now it looks as though this leading group is thinning down to 3. As I look at this, it's looking now like Vervaeken, De Lask and de Klerk, the leading 3. That is de Klerk. Now then, have we lost Van Open? Tom Van Open may have slipped back a little bit here. This is the chasing group. That's a lap rider. In fact, as I speak, that rider on the left is one of the lap riders, and the rest coming through, that's Nace. That looks like Nace to me. And more lap riders getting in the way there, one of the Japanese competitors. So the leading 3, Vervaeken, De Lask and de Klerk, and Nace is beginning to slip back a little bit. Past the pits yet again. Here they are, the leading 3, Belgium at the front, sitting in gold and silver medal positions. De Klerk at the front, Vervaeken second wheel, then De Lask. Yes, definitely gone away from that group. Off the back of that group is Sven Nace. So Nace is feeling the pressure, and Nace himself, twice a world champion, 3rd last year. But this course has sorted him out well and truly. Vervaeken was actually 4th in the World Cup event when it was held here in November. It was the 2nd World Cup event, so maybe that will stand him in good stead. Now then, 3 more laps to go. Let's get a time check on the next riders behind the leading 3, but they have certainly taken flight. Now, who's the strongest out of these? Vervaeken just doing a little bit of arm swinging there, no doubt to try get some warmth into those arms and shoulders. And Delask, well, thumping his thighs as well to try and stimulate some blood circulation. The damp on them and these cold conditions certainly do bite into the muscles. So less than 3 laps to go to decide this Elite World Championship. Delask at the front. Vervaeken now fully recovered from the crash. And at the back, de Klerk. Now then, here is Nace. Still working hard, isn't he, Nace? Wearing that Rabobank helmet. He's lying just behind that group at the moment. When we get a caption, we can confirm it. There it is. So Nace is trailing by 15 seconds, and then we have 2 more Belgians, Wellens and Van Open. So Van Open has slipped back 37 seconds, having been with the leaders. So it's certainly sorting them out now. Delask at the front, where he has been for a lot of this race. Vervaeken, 2nd wheel, and de Klerk just behind him. It's boiling up, this, isn't it, to a grand finale. I'm just wondering if we could be treated to a sprint. I cannot believe we're going to have a sprint. Conditions are so treacherous, surely they're not going to stay together. When we get to those steps for the final time, with about 500 metres to go, there'll be a big effort to be first to the top of there, because that will surely decide the issue. 15 seconds, the gap back to the next chaser, which is Nace of Belgium, and then 6 to the next. Wellens is still in that group behind Nace, and Wellens is a talented rider. He's got Pop Spisil of the Czech Republic with him, so he's behind that group as we go further down. Pop Spisil is ahead of these. Vandenberg coming through as well for the Netherlands. But really the race is now all about these 3. Being urged on by the home crowd here is Delask, really urged on. It's one of the riders off the pace there, one of the Spaniards, that's Mina. They're being picked up very regularly now, these back markers, as the pace at the front is still frenetic. Just toe-stepped his way there over the planks with great comfort, Delask. Vervaeken sucking that back wheel of the big fella in front. Tyre pressures will have been decided here after a lot of talk and consideration. They need to get as much adhesion as possible. Can't have them too soft, can't have them too hard. There will be a lot of discussion about that, and that sand that's been put down on some of the corners has definitely helped. So the 2 that have crashed in the big players here, we've seen Vervaeken go down, and the world champion Gronendahl, and there's no sign of him. He's gone right out of the frame, completely lost track of him. Just one more result I didn't mention, and that was the result of the World Junior title. The Czech Republic had a clean